Two developers started building a medieval zombie game in 2022. They posted footage online, went completely viral, and now have 1.5 million Steam wishlists, and the creators of Dead by Daylight backing them. And the game is not even out yet. This is Blight Survival, and it might be the most exciting co-op horror game in development right now. Today we are breaking down everything we know: the world, the gameplay, the combat, the enemies, and why this one has the entire internet paying attention. Before we get into the game itself, the story of how this game got made is genuinely one of the best underdog stories in gaming right now. Two developers, Mads Christensen and Ulrich, founded Hainer Studio with one goal: build a gritty, low-fantasy medieval co-op horror game with zombies. Not for a publisher, not because someone told them to, because they genuinely wanted it to exist. They started sharing early Unreal Engine 5 footage on social media. No big marketing budget, no publisher announcement, just raw, atmospheric footage of knights fighting zombie monsters in a decaying medieval world. And the internet absolutely lost its mind. The original reveal trailer went viral almost immediately. The Steam wishlist started climbing and never stopped. And then in 2024, Behavior Interactive, the studio behind Dead by Daylight, one of the most successful horror games ever made, came knocking. They signed on as publisher, bringing full resources and a team that has since grown from 2 people to several dozen full-time professionals. As of March 2026, the game has hit 1.5 million Steam wishlists, a milestone the team celebrated with a brand new trailer at the Future Games Show Spring Showcase. That kind of community support for a game that has not even released yet tells you everything about the hype surrounding this one. So what is this world that people are so obsessed with? Blight Survival takes place in the no man's land, between 2 desperate kingdoms locked in a ceaseless war. Within this purgatory, a new strain of the Blight has erupted from the remains of the fallen, fed and strengthened by the blood that has been spilled, rapidly spreading and turning man into monster. This is an alternate version of 14th century Europe. Think the Black Death, but instead of killing people, the plague is turning them into something far worse. You 2 kingdoms are too busy destroying each other to deal with the real threat, and so they turn to the only people willing to go into that hellish in-between zone: the Writhens. B-roll queue, character footage, or knight designs. The Writhens are an order of outcast warriors, mercenary knights who go where others refuse to. Their mission is to venture into infected territories, fight through the Blight, and ultimately find and destroy the source of the infection entirely. They are not heroes. They are desperate people doing a desperate job in a world that has already given up. The environments being built for this game are genuinely stunning. One of the confirmed biomes is the marshlands, a waterlogged, fog-drenched hellscape of rotting wood, dead trees, and ancient ruins swallowed by mud and decay. A key landmark within the marshlands is the Wailing Tree, which once had deep roots in local rituals and respect for the land. Now it stands as something darker, repurposed as a warning to anyone who steps out of line. The environmental storytelling here goes deep. Every landmark, every broken structure, every scattered detail tells you something about how this world fell apart. And the Blight itself visually spreads through the environments, creeping across surfaces and altering the landscape as you move through it. Now let's talk about how you actually play this game, because the loop is one of the most interesting parts. The developers describe it as a co-op extraction light with roguelite elements. Players undertake missions with others, acquiring loot in the form of weapons, armor, and crafting resources, and bringing them back to a hub-based camp. Here is where it gets genuinely tense. You can play solo or with up to 3 friends. You drop into a mission zone, you scavenge resources, you fight through infected and human enemies, and then at some point, you face a choice. Do you extract now with what you have already found? Or do you push deeper, take more risks, and try to get better loot? Every fight might be your last, and every investigation might bring great reward or end in disaster. If you die, you lose your gear, but you keep your experience, which carries over to your next of kin, your next character in the bloodline. So death is not the end. It is a reset that keeps your long-term progression alive while still making every individual run feel genuinely high stakes. The extraction system takes inspiration from games like Helldivers 2 and Deep Rock Galactic, but it is not a direct copy. Rather than copying a formula centered exclusively on looting runs, the team drew inspiration from cooperative experiences, where that mechanic forms part of a larger gameplay loop. The idea is that the extraction choice feels meaningful every single time, not just a formality at the end of a run. Between missions, you return to the camp hub, where you craft gear, upgrade equipment, unlock talents, and prepare for the next run. The progression is persistent across runs even when you die, which keeps the roguelite loop feeling rewarding rather than punishing. Okay, the combat is what everyone talks about with this game, and for very good reason. The developers describe the combat as a hybrid between Dark Souls and Mount and Blade. If you know Mount and Blade, you know that means a directional combat system where the angle of your swing actually matters, and here that system goes even deeper. You have swords, both one- and two-handed, shields, bows, and daggers confirmed so far, light attacks, heavy attacks, parries, shove kicks, tackles, and stealth finishers. Every weapon has weight, every hit staggers. Every kill can end with a brutal finishing move that makes the combat feel genuinely cinematic. The parry system is one of the most talked about mechanics in early footage. Parrying with precise timing depletes enemy stamina. Break their stamina completely and you open them up for massive damage or a counterattack. It rewards patience and reading enemy patterns over just mashing buttons. The team has been developing a wound system that adds layers of visual and tactical feedback to combat, bringing more variety to the encounters you face. So when you hit an enemy, you are not just depleting a health bar, you are visibly damaging them in ways that change how the fight plays out. And then there are the armor exploitation mechanics. Against heavily armored enemies, you can grapple them and look for gaps in their armor, necks, armpits, weak points that only become accessible once you have gotten close enough. It rewards aggressive, tactical play over just standing at range and swinging. Stealth is also a full part of the toolkit. You can take enemies down silently, use the environment to set up ambushes, and sneak through areas that would be suicidal to fight through directly. The combination of stealth and brutal melee means every encounter has multiple solutions depending on your playstyle and your squad composition. So what exactly are you fighting out there in the no man's land? 3 Blight enemies have been confirmed so far. The Rattler, a common infected peasant or knight, the Swelter, a special mutant merging of 2 enemies that releases toxic gas, and the Bellower, another merged enemy that screams to attract more infected to your position. That Bellower mechanic is genuinely terrifying from a design standpoint. One loud enemy in the wrong situation can turn a manageable fight into an overwhelming horde situation in seconds. It forces you to prioritize targets, stay quiet when you need to, and think about the consequences of every engagement. Internally, the team has also been working on the Night Stalker, an enemy they want players to approach with extreme caution. Full details on what it does are still under wraps, but the team has described it as one of those encounters designed to make you genuinely afraid. You are also fighting human enemies, bandits, hostile soldiers, and rival factions who want your loot just as much as the Blight wants your blood. The combination of infected monsters and human threats means you are never safe from just one direction. You have to watch everything all the time. Here is something the developers have been remarkably honest about. The pressure is real. After the original reveal went viral, creative director Ulrich made a decision that most studios would never make. He and the team decided to rebuild several fundamental systems from scratch after partnering with Behavior Interactive, particularly on the co-op side. The goal was simple: make sure the finished game actually lives up to what people saw in that trailer. In 2025, the team focused on foundational systems and tools to support long-term development, working on core melee combat, enemy behavior, and environments to support the tension, grit, and brutality the medieval world demands. The community has been part of the process from the beginning. The game is currently running small-scale playtests with testers picked from the official Discord, with these early sessions designed to give players their first chance to experience the game firsthand and directly influence its ongoing development. The Discord community sits at 45,000 members and counting. The team even ran a community contest where they invited Discord members to submit ideas for a Blight-inspired armor set. The winning design was turned into official concept art by their concept artist. That kind of direct community involvement is rare, and it shows a team that genuinely cares about what the people waiting for this game actually want. Here's the honest case for why Blight. Survival is one of the most important games in development right now. The co-op horror space is incredibly popular, but also incredibly crowded with games that feel either too casual or too punishing. Blight Survival is threading a needle that almost nobody else is attempting. Medieval setting, grounded, weighty combat, real stakes on every run, no PvP toxicity, a world with actual depth and atmosphere. The comparison people keep making is medieval Resident Evil meets Vermintide, and once you see the footage, that comparison makes complete sense. The atmosphere is oppressive and cinematic, the combat is brutal and satisfying, and the co-op extraction loop gives every session a purpose beyond just killing things. The game blends survival mechanics, crafting, exploration, and light RPG progression with a narrative mystery at its core, with a PC release confirmed and PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S versions under consideration. No firm release date has been announced yet, but playtests are running in 2026, and more reveals are coming throughout the year, so that is Blight Survival. The game that started with 2 developers, a bedroom, and a vision that the entire internet decided it needed to exist. It is on Steam right now, and you should absolutely wishlist it if you have not already, because the more support this gets, the better the final product is going to be. Are you excited for this one? Are you a solo player, or are you already planning your squad of 4? Drop a comment and let me know. And smash that like button if this video helped you understand what Blight Survival is all about. Subscribe because we will be covering every new update, every playtest reveal, and the full launch coverage when this one finally drops. I will catch you in the next one.